Hi, everybody.
Hello.
It's welcome to Super Breakfast Friends Club is the name of our show.
Did you think that we ourselves were Yokai Watch?
I did for a second. Play the opening.
Oh, this is a great start. We're on the top of our game. Nobody's dying.
We've come back to Yokai Watch.
I didn't have a choice.
You didn't have a choice. Did you know it's been almost exactly a year since we last watched Yokai Watch?
I guess that makes sense. Didn't we watch it for Halloween last year?
Yeah, we did. But it doesn't feel like that long ago.
It doesn't, because Wisp still haunts me to this day.
Yeah, I mean, you know what happened to me. Nary 2 weeks ago. My experience in London. I'm going to tell the story for the audience.
Yes, the audience. They're the only ones that don't know.
So I went to Bandai Namco, have a store in London now, where they sell all kinds of figures and stuff, but they have a whole floor of just gachapon machines. And I thought, hey, there's a Yokai Watch one. I don't see Yokai Watch stuff very often anymore. I'm going to try and get some gachapon, and there's 4 of them to collect, right? So I thought, okay, I'll be happy with anybody except Whisper. My least favorite character. So I put the 3 tokens in. The 3 tokens, which are £2 each. And I got one gacha, and it was I don't even remember its name. It's like a deer one or something with blue fiery eyebrows. And I thought, okay, he's pretty cool. But I really want that Jinbanyan, though. So I tried 3 more times, and all 3 of them were Whisper.
And not even a single Will Smith spur.
No.
Would that have made it better or worse?
That would have made it better. I would have been okay with that. I just don't like Whisper very much.
Nah, he's boring.
Yeah. It's like the only yokai that can't fight for you. It's just a tutorial yokai.
What good is a friend that isn't going to put up their dukes in your honor?
Yeah, right? So that happened. And now I'm even more soured on Whisper.
And yet here we are.
So this episode aired on January 8th, 2014 on TV Tokyo. And it's got 3 segments, which are all written by Yoichi Kato, who wrote the last episode we watched too.
Yeah, it took me a second to register when you said 3 segments. I was like, was there? Because the first segment doesn't really feel like a segment.
No, well, the first segment happens entirely before the opening theme, right?
Probably. I can't remember the specifics of when things happen.
The first segment is called The Famous One. And that's because it's all about the Kappa, one of the most famous yokai.
And it spends almost no time on it.
Yeah, so Nate and Whisper are down by the canal because they've heard that a yokai was spotted in the river. And this was pretty cool for me as someone who played the game because I recognize where they are. They're at the eastmost area of uptown Springdale here. So if you've played the game, you can look at this and be like, I know where that is. I could go there right now. And that's cute. I like that. So yeah, they're looking for Kappa. Whisper tells us that he's one of the most famous yokai. And Nate's just kind of pointing his watch around at the river. In this whole episode, anytime Nate... Oh, I'm going to be using the English names because I'm more familiar with them, and I just realized you're not.
Yeah, when you said Nate, I was like, are we talking about the same show?
Yeah, Nate's the kid's English name. What is it in Japanese? Keita?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try and remember both names, but I don't remember a lot of the Japanese names. I mostly remember the English names because I played the game. Anytime Keita is using his yokai watch, it plays the title theme from the game. And like this whole episode is full of music from the game, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they spot a bowl floating in the river. And Whisper starts authoritatively describing it as a kappa. Like, talking about the cracks in the bowl and what they mean and stuff. It's pretty clear that it's not a kappa immediately.
Especially considering there's a kappa pulling on Keita's leg.
Yeah, there's a real
the
one
entire time.
trying to get their attention and not having any luck. So it's in Japanese, the yokai watch kappa is called nogappa, which is a portmanteau of nogame, which means wild duck, and kappa. And in English, he's called war kappa, which is a mixture of walk and kappa, I think.
Walk?
Yeah, war kappa. I don't know why.
Because normal kappa don't walk?
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is about that. So Nogappa is played by Masahito Yabe, who we've talked about before because they played Happy Air in the first episode.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, the funny yellow cloud man. And in English, Walkappa is played by Melissa Hutchison, who we've also talked about before because she played Dismeralda in the first episode. So Dismeralda and Happy Air were a married couple in the first episode. So across the two versions of this show, the married couple are both voicing the same character.
It's fun.
Yeah. She also plays Katie, whose name is Fumi in Japanese, I think.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So as Whisper's bragging about how much he knows about yokai, a chef shows up looking for his bowl, sees it in the river, runs down and grabs it. I want to know the story of how this bowl ended up in the river.
Yeah, that was more interesting than whatever else was going on.
Yeah. And as he's leaving with his bowl, he trips on the stairs and the bowl falls on his head. And Nate jokes that he's the kappa they were looking for, and everybody laughs. Except Warkappa.
Except for Nogappa.
Yeah. Who thinks they're ignoring him on purpose now.
Because it's too good to be an accident.
Too good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Take that, Kappa. Kappa is actually probably my favorite yokai in the whole game.
I like him when he makes his return later in the show. He's fun.
This is the first segment, like of all the segments we've seen in this show so far, this is the first one that isn't a direct adaptation of a story event from the game. But you can optionally get Kappa at this point in the story, so I guess they just wanted to add one to the cast.
Well, they had to because he's the one that defeats the old lady.
Yeah. I mean, you just defeat her in a regular fight in the game.
Well, that's not as fun.
I know it's not. And we get a little segment explaining the yokai watch, I guess, for people who missed the first episode.
Forgot, like I did.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's part of the opening sequence or not, or if it's just, placed here. I don't know if they'll have this little bit in every episode going forwards.
We'll find out in a year when we come back for episode 3.
Yeah, but we see a lot of different yokai here, and again, it's another recognizable place from the game. This all takes place outside the train station at downtown Springdale.
I just have such a hard time coming to terms with the fact it's called Springdale.
It won't be called that in Japanese, obviously.
Obviously, but still.
Yeah, I've got no idea what it's called in Japanese. I don't think they've mentioned the name of the town in the show, have they?
If they have, I don't remember.
No, they've name dropped a couple places from it, I noticed. Because I don't think they even said the name of the high school in this episode. Not the high school, the elementary school, which we see a fair amount of in this episode, but I don't think they say the name of it.
They're elementary kids?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's even weirder for Whisper to be hanging around him then.
We don't know how old Whisper is. I guess he did say he was hundreds of years old, I think. But anyway, we're in the second segment now. Oh, well, I guess the opening sequence happened. What do you think of the opening? I don't remember what we said about it last time.
It's whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of whatever, huh?
I like the ending more.
Oh yeah, the ending? Yeah, okay. I forgot it until just now.
I've still forgotten it. I just remember I liked it more.
The opening definitely feels like it was trying really hard to like get a song stuck in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe trying a little too hard to do that.
Yeah. I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you singing it before we started the recording.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll do it again.
Don't you dare. I will hang up this phone right now.
Okay.
It's still stuck in my head. It doesn't matter.
So we have the next segment, which is called Why Are You Saying That? So class ends at Springdale Elementary and Nate rushes to the bathroom and sneaks inside. It's made very clear through his actions that he's a nervous pooper.
A nervous pooper implies something different than what this actually is, I think.
Yeah?
He's just ashamed.
He's just a shameful pooper.
Yeah, like we all are.
That's why we all do it in private. We don't invite people to watch.
Yeah, not like when we pee and we have the whole family in.
Yeah, exactly. So as he's leaving, Katie, or Fumi in Japanese, comes by and she catches him. We probably talked about it last time. In the game, you could choose to play as either Nate or Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, for the show, they've decided that Nate is the canon option. But Katie spots him leaving the bathroom. And then when she returns to class, she loudly tells him in front of everyone that she knows that he just pooped.
His worst fears have come to life.
He's devastated.
To be frank, I think I would be devastated too if somebody just randomly announced that I had taken a massive growler.
You think?
It's weird.
It's weird, but I don't think I'd be embarrassed. I think I'd just be like, yeah, why? It's weird that you're saying this. Like, everybody poops.
Sure. But we've been culturally instilled to be ashamed and embarrassed that we are alive.
That's true.
You're breaking your conditioning if you're not mortified by that.
I'm free. I'm free of it.
I'm a free pooper, baby.
I could poop right now in this chair, looking you in the eye.
And the whole world would know it. Or at least the 2 or 3 people that listen to this show.
Hi, Jamie.
Maybe Steve.
Scormac.
That's true.
Paul. That's everybody that I'm, like, confident will be listening. Anybody
I'm
else?
Not so confident.
Anybody else out there? Hi. Sorry I didn't name you.
This is the episode where we talk about poops. I hope this is your first.
This would be a weird first for anyone to have, because it's like part 2 of Yokai Watch.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love how Eddie and... Did you just quack at me?
No.
Pretty sure you just quacked at me.
I think you're hearing things.
Yeah, it might be. But I'm pretty sure. I like how... So Nate has 2 friends who in English are called Eddie and Bear, and in Japanese I don't remember their names, and they're not mentioned in this episode, so...
They just show up as creepy background weirdos.
Yeah, but they just kind of rub it in. They just hammer home for Nate how embarrassed he should be by this.
It's that social conditioning, man.
Yeah.
If you are not sufficiently ashamed of the poop you just did, then the implant in your body is going to go off and they're going to send the poop squad to come and reinstill the fear into you.
I thought it was funny how dramatic it was. It's so dramatic.
I mean, when you're in elementary school, that is pretty awful.
Yeah.
That is probably one of the worst things that's ever happened to you.
Your crush knows that you pooped.
She's not supposed to find out until we've been dating for 5 years.
The Whisper thinks that there's a yokai involved in all of this, and Nate points his watch at Katie and sees a yokai hanging from her chin.
Creepy old lady yokai.
It's Bakuroba is the Japanese name. Bakuro meaning revelation and Ba meaning grandma.
What's she called in English?
Tattletale.
That's less fun.
Yeah, Tattletale really loses the old lady part of it.
Yeah, that's like the whole thing, her whole shtick.
Yeah. The meaning of the name Tattletale is, I assume, clear to anyone who speaks English. I don't think I need to explain what it means. But I miss the old lady part. I don't know what I would have called her, but
I do also feel like it loses a bit of nuance because it's not like people are telling on other people.
Yeah, that's true.
Or even necessarily telling on themselves.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she basically, her thing is that she just causes people to say things that they don't necessarily mean to.
Like when you drink too much.
Yeah, kinda.
She's just like a stiff bottle of whiskey.
Bakuroba is played by Chie Sato, who we talked about last episode because she also plays Eddie. And in English, Tattletale is played by Melissa Hutchison again.
It's her!
She's just doing all the roles in this episode.
Like a Pokemon. Just do about 50 of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's all the actors I have to talk about this time. And both of them were Melissa Hutchison.
Get that paycheck, girl.
So Nate confronts Katie, but Tattletale runs away. This is where the battle music from the game plays. It's my favorite Yokai Watch song. I probably talked about it last time, but it's great.
The battle music just chasing her across town.
Yeah. I'm going to play a bit of it here. I love the bass line on it. It's really good.
I've already forgotten it, but my brain auto-filled it with a Kirby song. Oh, okay.
You recognize
that is a pretty
it?
sick bass line.
Yeah, it's good. The game's great. I love Yokai Watch. So I don't know about you, but I thought this was the funniest part of the episode, where they chase Tattletale across town.
She just leaps onto random faces at inconvenient times.
Yeah, I thought this was really funny. I really liked it.
I feel like I was really critical of the first episode, but I did like this one a lot more.
Yeah, I was going to say, in general, I preferred this episode over the first one. The first one suffered from first episode syndrome, where it's all about setting up things. In this one, they've already established the world, and they get to play with it a bit more.
Yeah, so we had time to do this fun chase scene.
Yeah. So, right at the beginning of the chase, Nate starts screaming about how he doesn't want anyone else to find out that he pooped at school.
Screaming about it.
Just in time for a girl to ride past on a bike, and she giggles at him as she passes.
He talks about it in public quite a bit.
Yeah, he's constantly screaming about it.
Maybe he secretly wants people to know.
Oh, you think he's got a humiliation kink?
He's in elementary school. Let's not use the word kink.
I like that most of the times when he talks about it, a laughing toilet flashes by.
Either that or it's just the flush setting from small to large.
Yeah. So Tattletale has attached herself to a hairdresser making him admit that he messed up the haircut. Then she attaches herself to a woman on a date who admits that she's not really into the guy.
She agreed on a whim.
Yeah. And then she attaches herself to a criminal in an interrogation who admits where he hid the cash.
How did they get into an interrogation room?
I have the same question, because every one of these rooms, Nate and Whisper run through and chase Tattletale out again. But what are they doing in this interrogation room?
In a closed police room.
Yeah. The guy, the criminal, says that he hid the money at Triangle Park, which is a small kids' play area in uptown Springdale.
Can you find money there?
I don't think so. I think all you can find is the cicada yokai.
There's a cicada yokai?
Yeah, he has a little sword.
That sounds cute.
We actually see it later in this episode. I think it's where I think it's where Tattletale eventually ends up. So anyway, but first, Nate corners her in an alley and prepares to have his first ever yokai battle.
Oh, I didn't realize this was a cicada.
Wait, what?
I'm looking at
you looked it up.
pictures.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I can't remember if we saw him in the first episode or not, because in the game, he's the first yokai you befriend, but I don't think that happened in the show.
Mm-mm.
They skipped over him. I can't even remember his name.
There's Caden, and there's Cincada.
Okay, Caden is the one I was thinking of. So Whisper tells Nate that he can use his yokai watch to summon any yokai he's already befriended using their medal. So he calls on Jinbanyan. Of course, because it's the mascot character.
But Jinbanyan's already been doing battle with a bus.
I liked it.
Is that a mechanic that exists in the game, or is it just for the show?
What, that they can already be wiped out when you summon them?
Because they're out living their own lives.
They are out living their own lives, and you can occasionally bump into them doing other stuff in the game, but no, when you summon them, they will always be at full health.
I guess that makes sense for a children's fighting game.
Yeah, it's, I guess they're just establishing lore-wise that it's not like Pokemon, where all your Pokemon just stay lifeless in a box until you want them. These guys are out there living to the fullest.
We're different than Pokemon. We're cool Pokemon.
When he summons any yokai in this show, the watch announces the yokai's type, and then there's a little song about that type.
브릿지 쇼카 브릿지 도모다치 후쿠와우지
Uh-huh.
It gets annoying pretty quickly.
It sure does. Does it like 4 different times.
Yeah, we don't need it every time.
So I have questions about the type. Because,
Yes.
like, mysterious makes sense. But what is the pretty type?
In English, it was translated as the charming type,
That makes sense.
which, yeah, I feel like describes a little better what it is.
Rather than just summoning handsome Squidward.
Yeah, so basically the types are just kind of describe the type of interaction they have with humans, I guess. Let me look up a list of all the types and see what they are.
Yeah, I was gonna demand one.
Because most of the yokai that we see get summoned in this episode are of the charming type.
Yes.
And then there's one of the mysterious type.
And, Happy Air is the warm type.
Oh yeah, I can't remember what that one's called in English. There are 11 yokai tribes. I don't think there were 11 in the original game, but the tribe types are brave, mysterious, tough, charming, heartful, shady, eerie, slippery, wicked, and then Enma and Wardroid. Don't know what. I think those might be. Yeah, those are ones that were added later. Wandroid.
So what type would you be if you were a yokai?
Oh, I guess Wicked was introduced later as well. I would be probably shady.
I have always said that about you.
What would you be?
Did you say that Eerie was one of them?
Yeah,
That's the one.
there you go.
That's the one, Doctor.
We see 2 yokai of the charming type. I guess Happy Air is the heartful type, and then Tattletale is mysterious type. I think most of my favorites are charming ones.
That sounds like you.
Yeah.
I like the ones that'll be friends with me.
No, they're just cool. Jinbanyan, Wallcapper, Skelabella.
Scalabella.
Yeah, I love her. She's great. Schmoopy. I like Schmoopy.
I like the name.
Oh, but I don't see... There's one I like that has, like, heart guns. I don't see him here, so...
Are you just thinking about Galgun, your favorite video game?
Not this time. I don't even remember that yokai's name. I wish I did. I'd be happier then. Anyway. The yokai summoning song happens. Play the song.
Several times.
Yeah, I don't like it. It's would be fine once. Actually, I don't know that I'd be happy with it even once.
Once an episode, absolutely not. If it was just once, full stop, I would be okay with it.
Yeah, but I bet there's fans who loved this. I bet there's fans who would like learned the songs and danced along to them.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
You're sick.
What's wrong with you?
Jinbanyan is not interested in fighting. He's tired. He's been punching cars. He just wants to lie down on his side and read a magazine.
Relatable.
But after some begging, he does agree to. Tattletale is tiny in this, by the way. This is where I really noticed.
is.
She's not
Well-
that small in the game.
But like you wear her as a chin strap, she's got to be pretty small, right?
Well, that's another thing, because in the game, that never happens.
Oh.
She just kind of hangs around nearby someone and makes them tell their secrets.
Oh, she infects you with her aura.
Yeah. She doesn't, you don't have to wear her like a mask like they do in the show. And they're always wearing their masks over their chin. You pull your tattletale mask up over your nose.
Who are you protecting?
Anyway, she gets on Jinbanyan's face and she makes him admit that he's a massive fan of Meow KB48.
I did really enjoy this part.
Me too.
We see his collection of all of the idol photos. He admits that he kisses it goodnight every night.
Yeah.
He's got one on his ceiling so he can see her before he goes to sleep.
Before we actually saw all of it, I was expecting it to be an idol group made up of actual cats.
Nope.
But it's not, it's just women.
With cat ears.
Yep.
He says he's been to all the meet and greets, but how are they going to shake his hand if they can't see him?
I know, that's... maybe he was doing it before he died.
Oh, maybe.
Because Jinbanyan is the only one we've seen so far that is confirmed was once a living cat and is now dead. So Jinbanyan makes a run for it because he's so embarrassed. And Tattletale flees to Triangle Park. That's where we are now. Again, places I recognize from the game. It's cool, I like it.
That's pretty cool, yeah. Does a good job of incorporating the game without being obnoxious about it.
Yeah, that's the thing, because if you haven't played the game, you're not going to think anything of these locations. And it's only because I have played it that I'm like, hey, I know this place. Nate tries to summon Happy Air, but gets an answering machine message. He and Dismeralda are currently vacationing in Hawaii.
I love that for them.
Me too. What a cute couple.
Mm-hmm.
Nate thinks that's it, he's out of medals, but then he finds Wallcapper's medal in his pocket.
Then he just slid into his pocket.
So that's what that would have been funnier than what they actually did do. Because Whisper reminds him that they befriended Wallcapper earlier, which we didn't see happen.
No.
I think it would have been funnier if it turned out that Wallcapper just slipped the medal into his pocket because nobody noticed it.
That's still my headcanon. Like, I choose to believe that Whisper was saying that to be generous to themselves.
Maybe.
And to not say, oh yeah, that's that Kappa we ignored earlier.
Yeah. Okay. That's my headcanon now too as well then. So, because Wallcapper is also the charming type, we get the same song about pretty type. I don't like it.
Mm-mm.
It wouldn't
But
it wouldn't be as obnoxious if it was a different type, so we got a different song, but the same song playing twice in such short proximity to each other is not good.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
Tattletale attaches to Warcappa, but everything that she makes him admit to is either just well-known facts about Kappas or just not anything embarrassing at all.
It was pretty good.
It was funny. Yeah, I liked it. I like Warcappa. He's cool.
I do like when she got him to admit that he's really into sushi.
Yeah.
And Whisper's like, aren't Kappa usually into cucumbers? He's like, I've just been really into sushi lately.
Yeah, that was fun. So eventually, time passes, the sun goes down, Tattletale collapses with exhaustion from making Kappa tell secrets that aren't secrets. And then Nate picks her up in his hands and befriends the old lady. And that's the end of that part of the story.
Yeah. It's a happy end.
Yeah, this is based on a part of the game's story, but it plays out pretty differently. In the game, nobody has Nate's poop in secret revealed. Instead, he just finds Katie upset because she said some things to a friend that she didn't mean to, and then that made the friend stop talking to her. They figure out that Tattletale was responsible, and then you befriend Tattletale and get Tattletale to help fix it.
How does she help fix it?
I think she possesses Katie again and gets her to apologize to her friend or something.
Okay.
I don't remember, it's been a while. But in the game, this all leads into basically the first boss fight, because Tattletale tells you that she did it in the first place because there's an evil yokai breaking seals that keep the balance between the human and yokai world in check.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know if this show's going to go in that direction.
Is that a little too dark?
This show feels too lighthearted to adapt any of the boss fights, to be honest. But we'll see.
What was the boss fight?
The boss fight is a giant snake thing called Slimamanda.
Slime Amanda.
Yeah, it's like a big lizard with 3 heads, I think. I think you fight it at the school. I don't know. I don't know if the show's going to do that. The show feels like it's mostly trying to be disconnected short stories rather than an ongoing plot.
Yeah. It feels a little too playful to have something that heavy lurking over it.
Yeah. Though we do get a glimpse of the Oni during the opening sequence, so I don't know.
That's true.
Because anytime you're out at night, the Oni appears, and then you have to sneak back to your house without him catching you. He stalks
And
the
eating
streets
you?
at night. Yeah, basically. And then we're at the last segment, which is real short. It's called Fumi's Melancholy. It opens in the school where Nate, Eddie, and Bear are talking about their grades and comparing them to the national average. And this is basically just kind of to establish their study habits as characters, I guess.
Just to establish who's the smart one,
Yeah.
who's the not smart one.
Well, that's the thing. I would have guessed that Bear had the lowest grades. I didn't really get that Eddie was some kind of genius kid until this part.
Yeah, now we know.
Now we know that Eddie has the highest grades of the 3 of them. And Nate's grades are completely average. We already know that Nate has a complex about being average. It was a big thing in the first episode, so...
There's nothing wrong with being completely average.
Yeah, Nate.
You might find out that you're in a Danganronpa. Maybe you're the luck student. Just get over it.
On the way home, Nate bumps into Katie, who's disassociating.
I can't quite recall her exact emotional state, but yeah, we'll go with that.
So since she's not talking to anyone, they summon Tattletale to get her to talk about what's wrong. And this is where we get to hear the mysterious song.
不思議召喚不思議不思議ブギブギ俺たちは大はしゃぎバクロバ
All right, I forgot it didn't play in the first segment.
No,
Or
'cause
second, I guess.
They didn't summon her. Now they've summoned her.
And now we get the fourth song of the episode.
Yeah, and the second one that was different. Is it just me, or does it feel kind of abusive to use yokai like this?
I mean, having them at your beck and call in the first place is a little strange. It's the same situation as Pokemon, where you just don't think too closely about the world.
I'm not thinking even from the point of view of the yokai. I'm thinking like, if someone...
Oh, because he's exposing her innermost thoughts that she chose not to share?
Yeah, if someone chose not to share something with you, you can't just summon a yokai and force it out of them.
Yes, you can. I know better than everyone, Mike. Shut up and put this mask on.
So it turns out that Katie's worried about telling her mom that she got lower than 100 points on the test.
We're not told how much lower, but I imagine it's 1 point.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting too. They decide to just let Katie stay possessed a little bit longer so she can tell her mom. And she does. And her mom doesn't care.
No. She says just try hard next time.
And that's kind of the end of it.
That's the end of the whole episode.
Yeah. Nate asks if there's any way he can get rid of Whisper. Whisper says no.
Darn.
Yeah, even Nate doesn't want Whisper around, so like...
He's not that funny. He's not helpful because he has to Google everything.
Yeah. Just leave your tablet behind, Whisper. We could do without you.
Yeah. I'm sure Keita can Google all by himself.
Yeah. Easy. And then after the credits, we get the Yokai Encyclopedia segment, which tells us some facts about Tattletale. They're not really anything we didn't learn during the episode.
Right. Nothing we couldn't infer.
Yeah. And did you watch the next episode preview?
I did. I am pretty excited.
Next episode, we're getting Mangy Mutt, the dog with a human face.
Jinbanyan.
Yeah, one of your favorite yokai, right?
One of my favorite yokai.
Yeah, so we have to watch that one.
Yeah.
He's great in the game too. I love there's like the super rare version of him that has a handsome face as well.
I do like that. That's fun.
There's the credits song, obviously. We talked about it last time, but I don't like it, but it's interesting to look at because I know I said it before, but I'm pretty sure they used the models straight out of the game for the animation over the end credits.
Do you not like the models or the song?
I don't like the song, but I like
You
seeing
like
the
the
models.
song, but you like the intro?
I like the models wiggling around. I didn't say I liked the intro, did I?
No, but you just keep singing it at me.
Well, that's because it's stuck in my head, which is what they wanted.
Yeah.
Well, should we talk about the dub?
Do it.
The dub aired on September 14th, 2015 on Disney XD. They didn't change any of the music as far as I can tell, which is nice.
Yeah, that's a nice change.
Yeah, rare for a dubbed anime. They changed the title of the first segment. It's no longer called The Famous One. It's now called The One in the Water.
Okay.
I'm assuming they did that because Kappa aren't as well known outside of Japan, but
Yeah,
Whisper,
they are super famous in America.
Whisper still describes it as famous, like
He
within the
is still
segment. So.
famous.
I mean, yeah. Well, why did they change the title?
I don't know. I guess because saying that somebody is famous is not quite the same as saying he's the famous one.
Yeah, I suppose. But I still feel like a kappa is the most likely one for people outside of Japan to have heard of.
I don't know. I feel like I knew about Kitsune long before I ever knew about Kappa.
I don't know if there's a kitsune in Yokai Watch, though. Maybe there is.
Well, that sounds like a dumb thing. Why would they do that? That's the best yokai.
Yeah, there probably is. There probably is, and I just don't remember it. QB?
Looks like a Digimon.
Yeah, it does. Oh no, it is in Yokai Watch 1. Okay. Alright, so there is a kitsune. And I should have known it because it's in the only game I've played. Wallcapper talks in constant surfer slang in the dub.
Totally bogus, man.
That's not irritating.
It does get a little bit grating, but you know. When Nate gets embarrassed by Katie for pooping in school, Bear says,
Smooth move, X-Lax.
What? Look at this loser. He poops.
For anybody who doesn't know, Smooth Move X-Lax was a catchphrase of X-Lax laxatives.
Why would anyone know that?
Oh, the criminal in the interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't name drop Triangle Park in the dub. He just says that he hid the money under the bleachers at the high school.
Oh.
So that was kind of a shame.
Yeah.
An odd change. But maybe the translators saw Triangle Park and didn't realize it was a reference to something, so
Probably.
Jinbanyan's idol group was changed to a girl band called Next Harmiaoni.
Ugh.
In the Japanese version, Nate had never heard of them, but in the dub, he knows them and he thinks they're lame.
Isn't that a fun little thing to add?
Yeah, I don't know why they would change that. And also, all of the posters and magazines that Jinbanyan has have been edited to put more clothes on the girls.
To be less sexy?
Yeah, which is funny because I didn't think they were that sexy in the beginning anyway.
They weren't, but Jinbanyan does describe them as sexy.
He does, but they didn't have to change. I don't know. All of the posters that we saw focused on the girls' faces to where I
Yeah.
didn't even really take in what they were wearing at all. I didn't think any of them looked particularly provocative, but they've all had like much more obvious clothing added to the bodies.
They're all now wearing Lolita outfits.
They've all
There
got
are.
like sleeves now, and
Just know that they're wearing 15 layers underneath.
in the dub, when Nate pulls out Wallcapper's medal, Whisper actually does call out the fact that we never saw them befriend Wallcapper.
Wallcapper. When did you get his medal?
That's not important right now.
Okay, I do actually like that change.
Me too, I think that's better. And another one of these like weird changes that they like to make. Instead of sushi, Wallcapper says that he likes pizza in the dub.
Nobody knows what sushi is, Mike. That's weird
Yeah.
Japan food.
What? That's such a weird change to make in 2015, isn't it?
Yeah.
There are sushi restaurants in every city now. I think London probably has more sushi restaurants than pizza places at this point.
Correctly so.
And in the final segment, at the beginning, when they were looking up the national averages for the test scores, instead, in the dub, Eddie is looking up the grades of other kids on the school's server, which is weird.
Yeah.
Is that a thing you can do in schools now? Can you just look up someone else's grades?
I don't know that you can look up someone else's, not unless somebody's like posted an entire thing.
Yeah, it seems to be what was happening in the dub. Seems like an invasion of privacy, if you want my opinion. Is that what's going on in American schools these days? I don't know. I don't like it.
The only times I ever had to deal with all of the grades being posted in one location, it was attached to like your student ID number, not your name.
Right.
But I haven't been to school in a million years, so who knows?
It's a change I don't understand. Like, do American kids not, can they not relate to the idea of there being a national average?
I don't know.
Anyway, that's all the changes I noticed. And they're all silly except one, which I preferred. But, Mel,
Mike?
I heard you ask me about what the legacy of this episode was.
I sure did.
Okay, I was just checking. And now I will answer that question.
You know I'm always chomping at the bit for the legacy. I get so excited I forget that it's the next segment.
So, in the original Yokai Watch game, Wallcapper's favorite food was cucumber. But from Yokai Watch 2 onwards, it was changed to sushi.
Is that the only legacy?
Yeah, I think so.
That's fun, though. It's
Yeah.
fun that they actually took that change and ran with it.
Yeah. I thought that was funny. Yeah, as far as I could tell, that's the legacy that the show has left on the game so far. That they changed Wallcapper's favorite food based on a throwaway joke in this episode.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, me too. I was glad that you called out that line specifically so that I didn't have to do it.
You didn't have to steer the entire show in the direction of one legacy joke.
Yeah. What did you think of this episode?
I liked it better than the first.
Me too.
I thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was cute, it was funny. It still had a little bit of exposition in there, but I'm confident that we've had all the exposition we need now. And I feel like future episodes will probably lean further on the fun side of what this one was.
Yeah.
Although, I also expect that we'll be hearing a lot more of those summoning songs that I don't like very much.
Well, yeah, we gotta hear all of them.
Probably multiple times an episode.
That'll be super fun for us in our ears.
Thanks, Yokai Watch.
It's great.
I love to do it. What's your favorite yokai this episode?
This episode, probably Nogappa.
Yeah, same. He was cool. He's my favorite anyway from the game.
Yeah.
Because he's cool.
But who's your favorite yokai? And why is it Shirime?
Which one's that?
The one with an eyeball in its butt?
No, that's not my favorite yokai. That's your favorite yokai.
It is not.
I don't know what my favorite is. I'm a big fan of Dog with a Human Face as well.
He's pretty great.
Man, what yokai do I like the most? I like the umbrella one that just floats in the window and stares at you while you're sleeping.
Yeah, he's good too.
And obviously I'm a big fan of Kappas. Who isn't? Oh, I love Tanukis.
They're pretty cool, but I have to be mortal enemies with them on principle.
Yeah, I know. I can't think of what else I like.
That's it. You've named all of the yokai.
That's all of them. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Was that a quack?
No, I blew a raspberry. I wouldn't have been able to get to the duck fast enough, even though I desperately wanted to.
Okay, because I guess your microphone picked it up weird, and it actually sounded like one of those musical instruments with the beads where you twist it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay, good. Thanks for joining us, everybody. That was a quack in the middle of me saying that for this romp through Springdale.
For this official step into spooky season that isn't tech or the power of juju.
Although that was pretty scary.
For the wrong reasons.
Yeah. If you would like to support us on patreon.com/Super Breakfast Friends Club, please head to patreon.com/Super Breakfast Friends Club.
Do exactly that thing that I just said.
Yeah. Thank you to Jamie Core, our current patron. We can have more than one patron. That is allowed. So if anybody would like to join Jamie, please. We're begging you.
Upon our hands and knees, we beg.
You could also head to coffee.com/Super Breakfast Friends Club. Did I say that right? That sounded weird to me.
You know I don't know where things happen.
You
I
know-
just show up here sometimes.
Just, there's places where you can send us money if you like. And we would love it.
We would turn that money into things like microphones that maybe pick up when I laugh.
Yeah, that might be a Discord problem more than a microphone problem though.
Maybe.
What else happens on the internet? I'm Skull Pirate Mike, and you can find me at places where it says Skull Pirate Mike.
I even have a retort for that. Have I mentioned that I'm tired?
Is that what you're plugging? Your tiredness?
Yeah. I don't have an internet presence, but I will take this opportunity to announce to the world that I'm tired. That is my current status update.
Thanks, Mel.
You're welcome.
Bye! We did it.
We did it.
You can go to bed now.
Guess what?
You're in bed the whole time?
I've been in bed the whole time!
I knew it.